Facing a Alabama user in today's online rank match. Let's go ahead and break it down, as once again I'm using Boise State as I began the game with the very first possession, and I want to start off conservative, just running the ball, seeing what he likes to do on defense. Now, I end up running a lot during this drive to the left side, finding out that the left side is very successful to run compared to the right, which you guys will see later on in today's video. As I got downfield, my opponent switches his defense to goal line, and usually I switch to this double route move that beats man coverage every single time. Now, I could have hit my receiver on the left with a in route if I had a little bit more time, but usually the right route double post route move usually gets open all the time. But unfortunately, right here, I end up throwing a pick and it doesn't get open, so going to my defense. For those that don't know, my defense is absolutely clamps, and I make a lot of people suffer on offense and make you work and grind your way down the field. Now, my opponent started off trying to be conservative, trying to establish the run game as we end up dropping a pick right here. And once he found out that he couldn't really run the ball, he ends up going to passing, which switches his run style to using Milrow. And you guys see how broken he is. Throughout this game, you guys are going to see that for him to establish the run was to make plays. Now, right here, I'm used to people running this play. Every time I see that slot motion to the opposite side, I know the backside is going to have a screen pass, and that's where I end up user jumping it for a pick six. I played Bama so much this year. It's crazy that I already have every formation and plays down pat, and I know who my opponent is going to go to every single time on the first read. Right here, play action fake. We should have had a sack. You guys know how broken Milrow is at breaking sacks because of the abilities. So he was able to avoid it, but he ends up having a legal man downfield, gets a flag. Then he tries to test my defense deep, and once again, we drop another pick. I drop so many picks with Boise State every single time. It's ridiculous how bad the DBs are at dropping picks, but they're able to jar the ball loose for the most part. Now, as I end up turning the ball over, I get the ball back, and I'm trying to establish the run to the right side. And this very individual, Deontay Lawson, based off his abilities, as you guys see, he has purple blow up, which is the highest tier for ability, and its ultimate ability is to beat impact block attempts. And this dude, out of double mug mid blitz, was able to blow up every single run to the right side. It was ridiculous. Now, my opponent sat in it. I didn't really help myself by, adding a little bit more blocking, so I kind of screwed up this whole possession. Because, for the most part, every time I play Bama users and they do that defense, I'm able to bypass the blitz with ease, but for some odd reason, I just didn't play it correctly. So I give the ball right back to my opponent. Now he has a chance to score right before the first half comes to an end. Once again, my coverage is pretty locked up until this point. He gets a corner route for a big, huge pickup gain. Then it comes down to having my defense trying to contain Milrow. So he breaks a sack and he's just taking off, trying to make a bad play out of nothing as I box up his offense. Goes to 5 wide. Right here, I'm trying to kind of lurk, contain him. Made him miss up as his receiver stopped for some odd reason. And thank God my zone linebacker played his assignment and I was able to get an interception, another turnover. So I have another chance to try to go downfield and score before half, but, I end up just getting this first down and said, screw it. I'm just going to run out the time. So I tried to establish the run once again to the right side, and just Lawson was blowing up this play every single time out of, the double mug mid blitz defense I was running. So starting out the second half, he gets ball first and he tries to establish the run once again. And he's doing it out of goal line this time. So I was able to pretty much stuff it, which then leads to him going back to the passing game. Now, I wasn't worried about giving up too much of big passing plays like you guys just saw there. My main focus was just to keep him in front, let him work the clock, and all I had to do was pretty much contain Milrow. Because other than that, he had nothing else to go to. I pretty much boxed up everything, all his pass plays, so you guys see, for the most part, he had to take off with Milrow. That was his best option. Now, once again, it gets down to the red zone. Once again, you guys know my red zone defense is absolutely clamps. So right here we got a big break, a huge sack for a huge loss. 3rd and goal, breaks a sack, and then he makes up for all that lost yardage on that sack, which was BS. 4th and goal from 2 yards out. He's in 5 wide. All I gotta do is contain Milrow, as pretty much we had a box defense. Right here, I kind of got lucky, I guess you can say. I was trying to lurk the receiver getting open and then try to stay in front of him from running it in. And I was just able to get there just in time to disrupt the pass for a possible touchdown that he could have had. Now I got to try to work 98 yards. Right here, I barely got out from getting a safety. And then my tight end got a great break tackle catch as I end up getting myself out of the red zone. So then I stayed in that formation, flipped it because I wanted to see how I can run out of this formation to the weak side where his defense wasn't that great. I wanted to overload one side. Now I end up trying to run to the right, and you guys see that he stuffs me. So I ended up just trying to waste as much time as I can because he wasted timeouts. I wasn't trying to risk anything, and I knew I couldn't really do nothing else against Bama's defense. So right now, all I had to do was rely on my defense for like the 3rd or 4th time as he ends up throwing this post corner route that he got earlier. I dropped the pick, and that's all I had to do was make him waste time. He had no timeouts, and I knew my defense throughout the game was clamping up all his passing. So he ends up going to that C route again. I shaded my defense outside, and this time my DB plays it right, and I end up going over and selecting him to make a user interception to pretty much seal this game. He ends up pausing. I'm pretty sure at this point he was raging because once again, when you use teams like Alabama, you're catered to thinking that, oh, I got Alabama or a top tier team. It's going to be easy. It's made a little bit easier because you don't have to do much, but it still comes down to user skills to help you actually win games. You can probably dominate with the team, but if you're literally trash at the game, it's going to showcase. I mean, you guys see how many times I stopped him, right? The game should have been 28-0 at this point. But once again, I was struggling just because one individual player was stopping the right side from me running the ball, and I couldn't really do nothing else. I don't know, for some reason, this was the only time out of all the Bama matches I faced in that I could not run to the right because of one individual player. All the other times I can run to the right, but for some reason, just this game I couldn't. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. As well, let me know what you guys think about facing Alabama and much more. And let me know what you guys think about today's match. Till next time, I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.